like this.
This is exactly
We are
what's
not starting the stream like this.
And that's how we start it.
Oh,
Who is
all right.
gonna,
Well,
who is
anyway,
gonna
how's
start
it, how you doing, Eric? How you doing, Eric?
I
How's
would
it
say
going?
speechless after that because I thought we were gonna be like, "Hey, what's up?" Now we get.
All
Welcome.
right, all right. That's enough of that. That's enough.
I've
of
been
that.
gone for how long, and then we get that intro right off the bat.
Yeah, nope. Not dealing with that. He doesn't even know he's muted. Sucker. Ah.
You got me. You got me. You got me.
Hey!
I had no idea. You got me.
Gage is like, "Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working?" He
I
keeps
just thought
pressing
you
and
guys were
pressing
just
it.
like, you guys are just avoiding me.
He thought we were just ignoring him.
I really thought so. I thought it was just, you know what? Let's just tune him out for a little bit. So
all right,
we've been gone as a whole for like 3 weeks, 3 weeks. So
yeah.
so what have you guys been up to, Cisco?
Cisco, go first.
Oh, I'm going first.
Yeah, you going first, boy?
I have a job interview on Friday.
Oh shit, let's go.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yeah. So anyone who doesn't know, I'm a financial consultant. If you need to learn how to be better with money, let me know. I can teach you for the small price of your life savings. But I should be getting this job at this brokerage firm. I haven't had the interview yet, but I have spoken to them a couple of times. It seems like they want me. So, yeah, I mean, they'll be paying for me to finish my the rest of my examinations I need to take as a financial consultant. So if you guys are gonna pay for that for me, you're gonna pay me while I do it, and you're gonna sponsor me to do it. I mean, hey,
That's big.
yeah.
Then why not?
Why
Nice.
I say no?
Now you could. Are you gonna teach our boy that doesn't come anymore finance, or do you think he'll just kill you?
You talking about sheriff?
I didn't want to say his name, but I'm like,
All right, we're not going there right now.
I'm gonna say one thing to that, and then I'll drop it. Never talk about a man's finance. Is what he would say. He'd say, never talk about a man's finance.
Talk about a man's finances. Eric,
Alrighty.
what you
me?
been up to?
Well, as Cisco, I'm also getting a second interview. They like me a lot too. Supposed to have it in this month. I'm gonna call them again for the specifications. But the guy that interviewed me really, really liked me, and he already has a few spots for me to be a relationship banker. So I'm going for that. And they'll the same thing with Cisco. They're gonna pay me to take classes, and I'll just be in a office just studying.
I mean, nothing better than some easy money.
Right?
Nothing better
than some easy money.
I just gotta make sure I pass.
Too, right?
Huh?
This job should be a lot closer to you too, won't it?
I'm hoping they choose the one next to me, because then that's literally 5 minutes away. I could bike there, and it'll only take me 7. But they were more so thinking about another location around 30 minutes. So I'll be like, I guess it's basically the same distance as my current job. Just he'll be paying me more.
Yeah.
But let's last person here, Gage. How about you, my man?
What have I been up to? I've been just painting. I've been painting this room. That's basically what I've been up to. That's it. I do want to tell Cisco that I have one more Chozo artifact to get in Metroid Prime. They have been a pain in the ass, to say the least. I've been chipping away at it. I haven't been playing that much, just like an hour here and there, chipping away at those Chozo artifacts. But soon enough, we'll be able to talk about Metroid Prime.
Yeah, you guys are going to do a podcast on that, right?
Probably something.
We do.
Podcasts or not, I'm going to need to talk to you about it. So
we're all at a group thing, and then Gage comes under. Cisco, I got to talk to you right now. Pulls him, so I'm like, oh, bye, guys.
That might happen. That might happen.
They're gonna be gone for like an hour, guys. Just so you're aware. So if they're on a podcast and Gage pops out of nowhere, yeah, just they're gonna be gone. You won't see.
Oh, look, easy content. All right, easy content.
Then I'll just be in the background, just like eating chips or something.
Yeah, and then when you finally get that PC, I can get you on Metroid Prime too.
Bruh, it's gonna take so long for me. I got the keyboard from Gage, and then I got a mouse pad, a new mouse. I got it for Christmas, and I got the desk for my work finally came in, so I'm gonna set that up. It has 2 monitors already built in and everything, and they're mounted, so they're gonna be standing. And I'm just missing the PC, the main thing.
Is your brother still getting you the GPU?
I don't know.
Who knows, huh?
he got me for my birthday. He got me a bunch of tools and everything, which I did really need. But we were talking about it prior, so I was just like, wasn't expecting this, but all right, I still need it.
Hey, look, if he doesn't get it to you, I know what I'm getting you for your wedding gift.
Right?
It's a nice wedding gift. It's a nice wedding gift.
And I know where you can get a tower for pretty inexpensive.
The funny thing is, I had a tower. Like, I had a full-blown PC for my work, but then my sister she moved in with her husband and didn't have one, and I'm like, you know what? I should probably give this to her so she can kill time. And then a month later, I'm like, I should never have done that. I shouldn't have done it.
Instant regret.
It was so instant. I'm like, she tells me, yeah, it's so nice. I go on the web to look up cat videos. I'm like, you could do that on your phone. Why?
You're an idiot. You could have been you could have been $200 away from a full PC setup.
Them cat videos don't hit the same on the phone though.
She has a full-blown TV.
Well, you messed up, that's for sure.
I was trying to be a good brother, and I'm like, that was dumb.
Yeah, you fucked up. That's the bottom line. That's what you get for being nice.
Hey, look, that's what I say all the time. I'm not a nice guy. Look, you want me to donate something of mine to you? Best I'll do is I'll let you get the old one.
Right.
That's what I did for Eric. I gave him all my old stuff.
You did. Heather doesn't like the keyboard. I'm like, why don't you like it? She's like, it's too big. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing it's not her keyboard.
Right. Oh, it was funny.
Anyway,
so as we can get into our first topic of discussion for the night, there are a couple of pieces of news that came out around the same time. Namely, this first one right here: Bandai Namco looking to hire more staff for a 3D action game in collaboration with Nintendo. I already know what everybody's first thought was when they saw this. I guarantee you, everybody who first saw it had one thought, and it was Smash Brothers.
No way.
Everybody's first thought was Smash Brothers.
My first thought was wrong because it was the wrong company, so I'm out.
Oh yeah, you had to confuse the Capcom.
I was like so hyped, and I'm like, wrong company. Whoops.
He's like, more Mega Man.
Mega Man.
I guarantee you, the majority of people who saw this thought Smash Brothers first.
Really? I'm not gonna lie to you, it never crossed my mind. Right here is exactly what I thought.
I can't read that. What is it?
Exactly my thought. I wonder if it's Kid Icarus Uprising. Have you guys?
Kid Icarus?
I don't know if you guys are aware, but you know those videos Sakurai has been doing on his own YouTube page?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know who it is on.
Sakurai made a YouTube page like months ago, and he just posts like videos about game development. I think there was one about just his cat. It's just Sakurai basically posting like whatever he wants. And in one of the recent videos, he brought up Kid Icarus and was just like, I wonder if that'll ever get made someday, like remade someday, something along those lines. And I think even before this, even before that news, Bandai and Nintendo have already had like some job listings, and people were already speculating about Kid Icarus Uprising coming to the Switch, or maybe, you know, new hardware, who knows. But I fully believe that's what they are working on here. Because there was news also that Bandai is going to be working on a 3DS port. And if that's true, yeah, I mean, then that's more than likely going to be Kid Icarus.
That's fair. That's very fair.
That's definitely what I thought first. Smash never even crossed my mind, to be honest. It did not even cross my mind. I don't think we're getting another Smash game for a long, long, long time.
Neither do I. But
I can agree to that. Yeah.
Would it really? I mean, I don't know. I guess just because like Bandai Namco / Nintendo, like Smash is the collaboration between those two for the most part.
What about Kirby?
Oh, that'd be so funny if we get another Kirby game.
Is that Bandai Namco? I thought that was just the Sakurai's company.
I feel like I thought it was Bandai.
I mean, it could be. See. I just know that it's Sakurai's company is somewhere in there. HAL Labs, HAL Laboratory.
Oh, that might be. You might be right. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
we definitely know we need another Kirby game that shows him trying to eat a car.
Mouthful mode.
That meme was everywhere. No, but yeah, I mean, it probably is Kid Icarus. Like it is like 99% probably Kid Icarus.
Well, even if it is Kid Icarus, I think this hopefully they'll add another game to it, just because they don't get that many collabs with different companies, Nintendo. Besides just like From the Shadows, I would say, or something like that.
Yeah, it's so companies that they low-key own already.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Old news. This is old news, but it ties into this. Back in April, news came out that Bandai Namco was working on a 3D remake for Nintendo. So that was back in April. And they've done a couple of hires since then, still working on a 3D action game. And now, you know, with this new news dropping, but they're still hiring people, seems like this is starting to really catch on. A 3D action game by Bandai, they're remaking. So we already know it's an old game. It is leaning heavy towards Kid Icarus Uprising.
I'll say there's a 1% chance this is Pac-Man.
Oh God.
There's a 1% chance this is Pac-Man.
This is, I think the whole anime thing where the characters go like blank with a black background will definitely show for a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people falling out of their chairs backwards, right?
They were just
not expecting this to be. That would be really funny, though.
Dude, what if it's like a remake of an old Pac-Man game, but it's like open world and just super hype?
Him hunting for the items while. Oh, that would be funny.
That would actually be really funny.
Pac-Man Frontiers.
Exactly that.
I need to see Pac-Man rolling around at the speed of sound, dude.
Okay, so well, good. Does anyone else have anything they want to say about this? Outside of Kid Icarus, does anyone think it's something else?
Besides Pac-Man? No.
Besides Pac-Man?
No, I don't think so.
All right, then. I think we'll move on to the other topic then that we have. Let me pull it up. I'll close this one down.
Yeah, this one is, I think, a whole lot less speculative and a whole lot more likely.
So, basically what we have here. This says Nintendo might not have a major Switch title after Zelda as they prepare to move on to new hardware. So, This guy. Does anyone know who this dude is?
No
Andy
idea.
Robinson. I don't know if I've heard of him or not. I tend to forget names all the time. I'm sure he's probably done some rumor stuff in the past or has made other tweets that have caught on with people. But he says, from what I'm hearing, I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo starts talking about new hardware by 2024. I'm not convinced another huge first-party game other than Zelda is left on Switch. Usually Nintendo predict. Okay, so do we think Tears of the Kingdom is going to be the last big Nintendo Switch game?
Probably.
Yeah,
You-
for big
you think-
games, I definitely think that.
Probably.
So
I mean,
does that go ahead?
I was just gonna say because we've had some conversations. I don't think they're coming out with another big Mario game before a new console. Mario is it's too much of a game that you would want to put on a new console. Like it's always a new console is always a perfect time for a new Mario
Mario
game.
game. Yeah.
We've seen Zelda. They've ported like from what I know, at least 3 Zelda games on 2 different consoles. There's Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild. What else?
What are you talking about? 2 Zelda
like-
games on the same console?
Like there's one Zelda game, but on 2 different consoles at the same time. They're
Oh,
out
it's
during a
just the
transition
Wii.
period.
It's just Breath of the Wild and on
Twilight
Wii U and
Princess.
Switch, and Twilight Princess, yeah, and GameCube to Wii. Because Skyward Sword came out right at the end of the Wii, but it didn't transition over to the Wii U.
Oh, that's right. That was Wii Motion Plus.
Um,
That stupid attachment.
yeah,
Yep.
I mean, two Zelda games came out in N64, but it wasn't like it was between generations.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I'll just say this. What has me thinking this isn't necessarily true, I don't buy that Zelda will be the last big Switch game, just because I think that would imply new hardware comes out this year then. Because I don't think they'd want to go into the holidays with no big games. That just doesn't sound smart. And Zelda's going to be coming out in May. They do have the Mario movie as well. So
Yeah, they
I
could
feel
just
like
be focusing.
a Mario game, not necessarily based on the movie, but a Mario game would sound realistic. Odyssey came out in 2017. They've
So you
had
think
to
they're
have
gonna
done a
do-
Mario game.
You think they're gonna do a Mario game like, let's say, for instance, that paper game or the Build a Mario? Not something like they're putting their heart and soul into it, like Odyssey.
I feel like they have a pretty big Mario game in the works. I don't think it's going to be Paper Mario or Mario Maker 3. It could be. But I would think they would have another big Mario game coming out for the holidays. Because let's say this: Zelda comes out, the Mario movie comes out in April. Zelda comes out in May. We're gonna have E3 in the summertime. E3 is coming back this year. That's probably means nothing to Nintendo, but what I'm saying is there could be an announcement there, roughly around that time in the summer. With the Mario movie obviously doing well, I could see the last big Switch game being like a big Mario title for the holidays. Kind of to tie in with the movie, but not necessarily based off of the movie. Just riding off the success of the movie.
So you think there's gonna be at least a second then big game, and that's your limit?
I think there's at least a second big game.
Like,
Because it's hard to say. They also announced Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch. I know a lot of people think it could be released with the next hardware, which would be nice. But
it would be nice if they stick with the Switch, so that way we don't lose like games that were meant for the Switch only. Since some old games, all the retro games are coming back, and they're only right now meant for like Switch, PlayStation. So it'd be really nice if we could keep the games.
Yeah, the thing with Prime 4 is that there's so much of this like technology going into it. I don't see there being any way that isn't like a dual release, like the same way Breath of the Wild was.
Yeah.
I don't see them not putting that on new hardware. I know you haven't been keeping up with it, Eric, but they have stuff that they have stuff in that game that you would see in like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 games. Not saying the graphics are going to be that good.
No, but like
But
mechanic wise,
right,
something that we're not used to in our handheld mode.
right. So like a level of realism that you would see in late stage PS4 games.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff they've been putting in it.
Okay, jeez.
So
'Cause I
yeah,
remember the Samus game. Some of the animation gameplay, like it was really good, even on the Switch so far. So I'm very curious on the mechanics they're trying now.
yeah, for like because like you said, Dread looked great, and that's
Yeah.
2D. That was a 2D game. Um, maybe the Metroid Prime remake, Prime One.
I'm starting to believe that's not real. I'm starting to believe that's not real.
Look, it's about as real as Prime 4 is right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Why are you guys saying that's not real or just as real? Sort
It's
of
been
thing?
rumored for like heavily rumored to come out for like the last 2.5 years.
yeah, like all the major leakers are saying it's going to come out, which it has some sort of credence because a lot of the big Nintendo leakers are pretty darn accurate. It's just
Mm.
Yeah.
bro, it's been like 3 years.
Like, stop saying this unless you mean this year now.
I put
Yeah.
off playing Prime because I was waiting for the remake. This was last February. I was like, if I don't see the game this February, I'm gonna play it. February came and went, didn't see the game. I was like, you know what? I'll give him one more shot. Summer came and went, and then suddenly
Fall
it's like
came and went.
it's guaranteed to come out this November. You're gonna see it in the October or was it September October direct?
Yeah, for the anniversary, 35th
That
anniversary.
direct came and went. Didn't see any Metroid Prime. I was like, you know what? I can't do it any longer.
It's
Can't
just
do
like
it
I
any
was
longer.
waiting for so long here, and I haven't been rewarded. I'm playing my game.
Yeah, I just started playing it. I couldn't wait anymore. But
I had to play it on the Wii U.
God, let me tell you, I broke
Wait,
that
what?
thing
You
out.
played it on the Wii U?
He's playing it on the Wii U.
Metroid Prime Trilogy is on the Wii U. You can download it from. It's like a Wii Virtual Console thing. So I downloaded it, and the steps I had to take to just get that running on the Wii U took like 5 hours. It sucked so bad. So I won't go into all the detail, but if you try to download a game on the Wii U now, just be prepared for a lot of loops to go through.
I
Just get your
remember.
popcorn ready and just sit back and just keep that finger moving.
No, literally, this dude told us at like 8 p.m. All right, guys, the Metroid Prime stream is starting, and Ty and I were in there. We were ready to watch, and
Bro,
it's 12:30.
look, I'll be quick. I'll
It's
be really
12:30
quick
in the
with
morning.
this. I'll be quick. I'll be quick with this. I was like, all right, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna just download the trilogy and I'll play tonight. I've been playing games on my Switch, 5 years now. I thought the download would take maybe 30 minutes. I bust out my Wii U. I load it up, go to the eShop. You cannot buy games anymore on the eShop on the Wii U unless you have like an eShop card. You can't register your card to it anymore. So the workaround is you have to go onto your Switch, go onto the eShop, put money onto your eShop account, and then go back to the Wii U and buy the game with it. And so I added money to it. I went back to the Wii U, downloaded the game. The game started downloading, and it said it was going to take like 3 hours. I had this thing plugged in with an Ethernet port to my Wii U. Still 3 hours long. So I sat there. It was finally done downloading. Then it needed to do an update to the Wii U. The update took a while. It was like midnight by the time I got going.
That's insane. And you still played?
I mean, it runs fine now.
No, I mean, you played the moment it finished downloading at midnight?
Oh, yeah, I started it that night.
Jeez, that's insane. I would have been like, all right, guys, that was a stream. Bye.
I wanted to, but I also wanted to start it. But anyway, moving back to Nintendo's last big game. So Eric, you think Zelda will come out in May and then sudden like just pretty much dead for the rest of the year? Obviously, probably still some small titles, but no more big like first party AAA games.
Well, if like we've been thinking, or at least like what's the looming thought is, there's going to be new hardware. If it's completely different, like let's say we do a Wii, like a Switch, or like the Wii to the Switch jump sort of thing, then obvious I don't see new games or big games wanting to put their money in the old system if their new system can't take the game. Now, if it's just like let's say a DS jump, an upgrade, then or at least a smooth transition where the game will be able to move over, then I think we could have then just big games really still in that concept.
Well, because like even with PlayStation, a lot of games for a while were still on PS4, even though they were also releasing for PS5, like brand new games. Like, do you think something like that is what you're saying, where it's just going to kind of be on both systems for a little while?
Or if it works, yeah. Just the hope, because at least for where'd my thoughts go? At least like the fear for, I would say for PlayStation, once they became digital, they were able to move their games over, I think, easier than we have recently, because this is our first console that downloads games or has like save files more so than the Wii's. And the Wii was the first one, like you said, that did the eShop, and even then, that was still terrible to use. So that's all.
So, well, Cisco, what do you think? Do you think Zelda is going to be the last big Switch title?
I'll let you know in a quick second. There's something.
He's doing his quick research calculations.
No. I'm looking to see. I'm looking to see when the last wave of Mario Kart DLC comes out.
Well, Cisco, someone named Worm Hero says Cisco. So you better answer Worm right now.
Can you ban him?
Oh, don't ban. You know what?
You want me to offer him a spot in the pod? I'll bring him in if he wants to score.
You're right.
Oh darn! He's already been blocked.
Nah, Gage, ban Cisco now. Put him in the Cloud9 or whatever, just because he banned him.
Who's Worm? Why'd you block Worm? What's going on here?
What Worm do to you?
He's from the crew server. He will not leave me alone.
He won't leave you alone.
Hey,
we have a fan.
Yeah, we got viewership.
Oh no.
Sorry, Worm. Worm, I am sorry. Wasn't me.
All right. Well, anyways,
justice for Worm.
The DLC.
That's our new thing. We need the sound panel to say justice for Worm.
Anchor shot. Anchor shot.
That's for you, Cisco, for banning Worm.
Anchor shot.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
No. You're not getting me this time. You're not getting me this
so
time.
the DLC for Mario Kart ends at the end of 2023. And we know Nintendo has this thing of when they're getting ready to move to a new console, the old console basically becomes like a port machine to keep people playing the old console, buying the old console's games, and still getting the new console. So I think Mario Kart is the last leg of the Switch. That's what I think.
Do you think Mario Kart DLC that's already been coming out is big enough to carry a holiday season? I just don't think Nintendo wants to go into the holiday season without.
They're going to be releasing another Pokemon game anyway.
Where was that?
Probably DLC. What do you mean Pokemon?
Yeah, DLC. They're doing that, but not a.
Doesn't Pokemon come out every year?
Not necessarily. Pokemon Sword and Shield. After that, it took almost like, I think, 2 to 3 years, maybe longer. The Pokemon Sword and Shield was the longest game without a new sequel until Pokemon Violet, and so I definitely don't think they're going to get a new real Pokemon game. I think it's going to be a DLC, if anything, like Gage said, because they did the same thing with Sword and Shield. They released it, then they added a new section to it.
The way I see Pokemon DLC now is sort of how they would do Pokemon A and B, and then they would release Title C
Yeah,
like a year or two later. The DLC seems to take up that C spot.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
But
did
they
that.
usually do a remake too after a couple years, and who knows what they're doing about if Legends is like a new series that they're starting to do, or if that was just a one-off. But I mean, I think you're right. I do think there will be something Pokemon related, but I don't think it's going to be like super big, like another big Pokemon drop.
Yeah,
If
'cause
anything, it would be like Pokemon Snap or anything, like a side game.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
what did we have to get us through this holiday season? What was
This
that? Just Pokemon?
Huh?
Oh, this year or
Yeah,
last year now? What did come out last year?
I think it was just Pokemon. I
Pokemon.
don't think
Yeah.
they had anything.
Was it
It was like-
Pokemon Arceus or no? Was it?
No, there was like Bayonetta came out, and then yeah, pretty much Pokemon.
Yeah, so like,
But the thing is, Zelda was set to come out this year. It got delayed.
That is true. They did say that.
that's fair. But I'd imagine that a lot of plans got pushed back as well. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I think we're seeing new hardware next year or later this year.
This year.
I don't know if it'll come out, but I honestly believe we're seeing it. The only thing that'll get me to change my mind is if they announce more MK8 DLC. If they announce
There's
another
no
wave of MK8 DLC,
There's no. Yeah.
then I'll change my mind. But I honestly think that them having the DLC stretched to the end of this year is
Eric, I have a quick question for you.
What they're doing.
What's up?
When we talk, we can hear loud noise coming from your end. Is there any way you can turn that down a little bit? That sounds a lot better. Thank you. Cisco, what were you saying? Mario Kart 8 DLC?
Yeah, I was saying unless they announce more Mario Kart 8 DLC, I think we're just seeing new hardware. I thoroughly believe that Mario Kart 8 is like, I think the support for Mario Kart 8 is the support for the Switch. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they didn't seek to maybe rush out.
I mean, the game obviously is still selling pretty good, but it's not selling how it once was. It's just a ton of people have it now. I don't really think DLC Mario Kart is pushing the Switch any further than it's going to go.
No, I mean like I think that I don't think that they're relying on it to sell Switches. I think it's just like MK8 is a good measurement of how long that they're going to, keep
Just
the
still-
Switch,
Saying
alive.
how long the cash flow happens. Yeah.
I
Because
see what you're saying.
the
Yeah,
kids definitely don't need the DLC. Like their target audience, they don't care enough. It's the adults that are probably going to want the DLC to try to do more racetracks because they get bored faster than the little kids, I would say.
maybe you might be right there. I just think I think it's like, we've seen MK8 do all these sales. Sales are starting to slow down. We're gonna squeeze out the last bit of money we can out of this game, and then we're gonna move on. And that's kind of how I feel about it. And then it's like at that point, when the biggest seller for your biggest console is no longer selling, it's time to get something new and fresh and hot on the shelves.
I mean, something else I just thought about that I forgot, and I don't know if you guys consider it big, but I do think it's still first party Nintendo. They already announced Pikmin 4 as well. I don't know if it's technically announced for the Switch because they just showed off some footage and it looked pretty good to where I don't even know if that was a Switch that we were seeing if that was a switch in that direct that footage was from. But Pikmin 4 is also announced already. So maybe that seems like a summer release to me. I just feel like we are going to need to get new hardware this year, like you were saying, Cisco, if Zelda truly is going to be the last big title. I think if we don't see new hardware and then summer comes and E3 comes by and we still don't see new hardware, there's going to need to be another big game in there somewhere coming out for somewhere near the end of the year.
Yeah, I guess if there weren't already really heavy rumors about new hardware, I probably wouldn't feel the way that I do now. But I mean, like we know it's coming eventually, and it's coming sooner rather than later at this point. So
I mean, we've had the Switch for how many years now? Like even the original Switch, like we got the new wider screen.
It's going to be 6 years.
it's about to be
6 years.
6 years.
in March.
That's when. How long have we had a Nintendo console? Longer than 8, or even the current one was 6.
I want to say the Wii was probably the longest running console.
How long
it was. I'm not sure. I think the Wii came out in 2006, and then the Wii U was 2013.
So 7 years. Roughly.
All right. Yeah, Wii came out in 2006. Oh, yeah. Wii came out in 2012.
2012.
So 6 years. So if we based off of that, yeah, we should be getting a new hardware this year.
The thing is, like, what I think though Nintendo does is when the system is dying, they act rather quick to jump to the next console. And even though the Switch might be in its twilight years, it's still like selling pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
It's still making them money. So I don't think they're in a rush we need to have new hardware out like right now. I think if the sales really do slow down, of course they will, because the Wii started out hot. The Wii sold a ton of hardware for the first couple of years. And then it slowed down. Like the last 3 years of the Wii were not great. So they had to move on to something new. And the Switch is still selling well. I don't think they need. I want them to move on to new hardware, and I do think they need to. I don't think when Nintendo looks at the money they're making, I don't think they're like, "Wow, guys, we need to move on to the next thing." I think they're still saying we can ride this out a little longer, and make the
it's a portable console basically. So the parents are just like, we just give it to our kids, and then they'll be happy with the most recent games, and not have to get them like an iPad, which they constantly have to pour in money.
That's another good point you bring up, or at least make me think of another point, is this is the first time Nintendo has had just a one dedicated console, not a handheld alongside the home console. And so because of that, it might change things of how they are moving into the future of when they release new hardware. Because they kind of always had the handheld to carry them over when things weren't doing well for the Wii U. The 3DS was still doing decent. When things slowed down for the Wii, the DS was definitely carrying Nintendo.
Yeah.
And so with the Switch being a handheld / home console, they don't have anything to fall back on when it does start slowing down. And maybe that does mean they want to jump on something, before it slows down too much. So, do both of you guys think we're going to see new hardware this year? Maybe not release, but at least see what the next gen console is going to be.
I definitely do.
I think so too. And actually, when you brought up that point, they might actually make it on alongside the Switch. What they might try to do is make the game not only viable for the Switch, but try to make it for the new console, but give the more console better graphics and everything, so that way people want to still buy that, but still keep that Switch, so that way they could take it on the road with them.
How possible is it to have like a great looking game? Let's just say hypothetically here, Nintendo's next console can run 4K games. And let's say it's still on a little cartridge that fits into the Switch. Can you play this game on the Switch but downgrade the graphics, obviously not to 4K, but just so the Switch can run it, but it still works on next gen Nintendo hardware? Is that possible? Or is that like too much work for people to do? Because if they can do that, that's actually a good direction for them to take, I think.
I don't think it would be that difficult, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
not
because
necessarily.
if you think about like the way games on Steam work, how I can, I have like anti-aliasing and ray tracing and all this stuff on my RTX 3060 Ti, right? But then you could also play the same games on some rinky-dink Chromebook at low settings.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'd
It's
imagine
like
it'd just be the same thing.
that increases is all. It doesn't matter, because people are still going to enjoy the game, especially if it's like really good, but like on the Switch graphics.
No,
Right,
I mean
like,
if they could do that, if they could keep the Switch going, or maybe like make a new console that's still handheld and still maybe the dock is much stronger, and they could do 4K. But when you're in handheld, it's definitely not going to do that. That would be great. And then if it's backwards compatible to where the Switch games still work, that would be nice.
yeah, I
But
can definitely see that being a possibility.
who knows though?
Yeah,
Who knows what Nintendo's doing?
And we definitely didn't think, or at least I didn't, that they would bring the Switch to begin with, do full-on handheld mode basically. So they might be able to try and just dive deeper into the handheld piece. The PS2 tried to do that too with their small handheld games, but they basically moved away from it and just did a harder or a stronger console game or a console system.
uh-huh.
Well,
Right.
this reminds me. I got one more thing to share with you guys that's tied into this. This is a tweet that I read earlier today. Want to know what you guys think of this? Because it's so true.
I'm perplexed that people think Nintendo is going to make a straight up spec bump Switch 2, because history suggests that instead the next console will be infuriatingly weird with like vibra sensory hair to simulate massaging Mario's scalp.
And 7B buttons.
I have thought about this. I definitely have thought about this, but
Why have you thought about this? Massaging Mario's head. Why have you thought about
You've
this?
been thinking about massaging Mario's head,
look, man, because
bro.
Look. Playing just as Mario jumping and running around is getting old. We need something new. We need something different. We need Mario fan service. That's what we need.
We need Gladiator Mario.
Look, if what this person is suggesting here, it truly is next gen, those rated A games are going to go crazy.
Look, we're not going back to that discussion.
Come on, those rated A games are going to go crazy if this is next gen.
We're not going back to that discussion.
Bro, we basically already arrived there now because someone just wanted to massage Mario's head. That's definitely. I agree
that
with you.
that HP Rumble. They're
gonna
going to take that HP Rumble to the next level.
Look,
them rated A
I
games
think-
are gonna go crazy.
I think Nintendo is going to do. I think they're going to stay in the same vein as the Switch. I think they're staying in that same vein. I think what they might do is they might have this one be a bit more of a home console, more so than a handheld. I think it'll be primarily home with handheld capabilities, because like we said, the Switch is still doing very well, and I think they might have a difficult time like opening the niche of the Switch back up, because there's so many people who bought it and they're like, why would I get like just a stronger Switch unless it's much stronger? You know what I mean?
That's a good point. I wonder if they learned anything from the success of the Wii going into the Wii U. I wonder what they're gonna if they're gonna try and do something similar again, but obviously the branding needs to be so much better than the Wii U was. And it can't be nearly as confusing as the Wii U was. I don't think a lot of people even knew the Wii U was a next gen console. I think a lot of people thought it was just some Wii accessories. But
I'm not gonna lie. I only thought the difference was the Wii Motion Plus or something like that. Just
you
something.
see, this is exactly what I mean. No one knew what the Wii U even was. No one
Actually,
even knew what it was.
the pad too. The pad was just a nice accessory.
The Fisher
Exactly.
Price gamepad.
That's what everybody thought. So I do think, though, there is some things that they tried to do going from the Wii to Wii U that they should still try and do going from Switch to whatever comes next. So many people have a Switch, and I know people want to shit on the Joy-Cons, but the next console needs to be able to be compatible with the Joy-Cons still, because so many people have them already.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think their controllers need to be as good as I think the most recent one where they were like the game pads. I think Nintendo, that was from them, right? Where the Joy-Cons were like the game set, where it's a pro controller basically attached to the ends of them. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I know they have those. I know those aren't like Nintendo branded, but
yeah, okay. They're not Nintendo branded, but I think that's where they might need to go for people to enjoy the Joy-Cons, because they are still like a Joy-Con, since it's not a full controller, but it makes the handheld more of like an actual game.
Yeah, I think they should still release the next console with an updated Joy-Con controller, but the old ones from the Switch should still be able to work with the next console as well. Sort of just like the Wii U, you were able to use the Wiimote, but they also had a new Pro controller, the gamepad. I just think it should all work.
Wait, the Wii had a new Pro controller?
There was a Pro controller for the Wii U, yeah.
Oh, there was?
There was a couple different controllers for the Wii U.
I didn't know about that.
I mean, why would you? Why would you know about that? They made it because people also forget that the Wii U, when it first came out, it was also white. Like later on, it was all just black Wii U's, and that's how I still see it. But the original Wii U, when they announced it, it looked like a Wii. It was just white. And so like everybody just thought, oh, this is like a nice little tablet that I could like use for my Wii. No. It was so bad.
I completely
and then the
forgot.
game, like it launched with I think like New Super Mario Bros. And then what was it? Zelda, or not Zelda U. I wish it was Zelda Wii U. It was Zombie U, which is a decent game, but like, come on now.
Yeah.
They need to learn from, like, what I'm saying is they need to go back to the drawing board of what they did then and take the things that were good about it, because there was some good ideas there, but they need to understand how to brand it and make sure people know this is next gen.
Yeah. I think the easiest way to do that is just focus on the power thing. I mean, you can add in your couple of gimmicky features if you want, with some upgraded Joy-Cons. But I definitely think the way to go is just take what the Switch did well, but focus on just one aspect of it, which I think would be the smart thing to be would be the power thing, because that is everyone's biggest complaint. Everyone's biggest complaint with the
Yeah.
Switch is that not necessarily that the graphics look bad, but just bad optimization and bad power.
Mm-hmm.
These days, it's all about power. And while I think Nintendo has made a very good compromise with that, I mean, look, Ty and I were playing Mario Kart 8 the other day, and we're like, dude, it's been a while since I played this game, but this game still looks incredible.
It's still one of the best looking games on the Switch.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a really good game.
So they've struck a good balance with that and a couple of other games. But like, look at Breath of the Wild. I know you played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for a bit. That game runs like garbage. I mean, there's just it's not strong enough.
Pokemon. But anyway, we should move on to what we are expecting or what we want to see for the year going forward from just any companies. Doesn't need to be Nintendo. Just what do we want to see out of video games this year? Eric, you have any games you're anticipating? Any games that you might not have been announced, but you are just hoping that they come out this year?
All right. So I'm hoping and praying they bring out a new Dragon Quest. I've actually been a really good big fan of the game with when I first bought it for Nintendo, for the DS. So I'm really hoping they're coming out with a new Dragon Quest.
Did you play Dragon Quest 11?
Yes.
Did you? Because I heard people who love RPGs, like considering it to be like one of the best ever. And I was just curious if you liked it.
Oh, I loved it. It was such a great game.
Nice.
I also played the Tales games, so Tales of Vesperia and other games like that. I'm kind of hoping for one like that, another Tales game, but I'm not sure if I like the Tales of Vesperia battle system where you move around, but targeting is a little weird, or other games like Dragon Quest where it's turn-based stuff like that. So I'm very curious how they'll go, what route they'll go if they have a game in mind for that.
Nice. Are there anything else you're hoping for? Is that like those are your like top games you're hoping for?
They already announced for Mega Man Battle Networks. I want the Star Force ones, and the Noise ones. I want those series to come out, but I don't think it's going to be this year. I definitely don't think that.
Look how long it took to get Battle Network Collection.
That's my point. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Come back down to reality, or come back down.
Cisco, you have any games you're hoping for?
I mean, Prime Remake would be nice. There's maybe a Fire Emblem remake. There have been a lot of rumors about one of those coming out. I know we're getting a main game as well, so I'm not super hard pressed for a remake. But there are some older but very legendary and not well known enough Fire Emblem games that are like really, really intense. Two in particular come to mind that have never been released over here in any capacity. One of which, in order for you to play it over here, even illegally, you had to patch the game, and it took the modding community like a decade and a half to properly patch the game to get it localized over here. And this is like with mods and everything. So
was it worth it?
I think it's a really good game. It's probably the most different Fire Emblem game in the series for a lot of reasons. But yeah, like if we could get one of those two, maybe even both, ported over here, remade, that'd be great. But outside of those, I'm seeing pretty much everything I want to see out of this year.
Wow. Okay.
This is a good year
So
for
the
me.
Prime remake is what you want to see. So does that mean you don't think Prime 4 is coming out this year?
Look, as far as I'm concerned, that game doesn't exist.
Never coming out.
Look, until I see that game in my lap, It doesn't exist.
So viewer,
I'm kinda-
please draw like Prime in the corner, just sad hearing Cisco saying that. Just,
My favorite part about the whole thing is like I still have the other two to play, and I can take my time with them. And then when 4 does eventually come out, Cisco's buying it for me.
I knew that was coming.
So I'm
just the way
pretty right now.
that said that was amazing. Like, this is buying it for me.
Cisco's buying it for me. And what I'm kind of hoping happens, this is genuinely what I hope happens. I hope that like we scrapped Prime 4, as you guys remember. We had to do it again. But we left the team. We let the team continue working. And we have Federation Force 2. And it utilizes HD Rumble, which hasn't really been utilized on the Switch that well. And
And gyroscope
that's
controls.
just gyroscope controls. And better yet, you're gonna need a Labo set to play it.
You know what part about that makes me kind of mad? It's the fact that it wasn't just Metroid Federation Force; it was Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
under
they
the
did. They
Prime
did do that.
series.
Yeah,
That's under the Prime sub-series of games, and it's nothing like any of them. even the one Metroid Prime Hunters for the DS was like a regular Prime game, but that one, let's kick the ball around, everybody.
it was great. It was
We're
great.
Space Rangers kicking balls around because why not?
I wish we could still see the dislikes on YouTube. That video had so many dislikes. No, but if I'm being for real, with Zelda coming out, it's really tough for me to say that there's anything else I need this year. But there's always things that I want, and I do. What I would want is for the next Mario Sport game to come out and it be Mario Baseball, but I want it to be good. Every Mario Sports game they've been putting out has kind of been, compared to what it used to be. If they do a Mario Baseball game, I want it to still at least be as good as the Wii one or the GameCube one, because Strikers is nothing compared to the old ones. And I'm not even the biggest fan of Strikers. Mario Golf for the Switch was fun because we got to play it online as friends. But straight up, I would never play that game by myself. I would play Toadstool Tour by myself because it was fun. That Mario Golf for the Switch is not Mario Golf to me. Tennis, I don't even like the tennis games, but everyone says that Mario Tennis wasn't great. And so I do just want Mario Baseball, but I want it to be good. I have been seeing rumors that this is the year that we finally get some F-Zero. I would love something F-Zero, whether it be a new game or a remake of GX. F-Zero GX on the Switch would be awesome. I do think the rumors we were hearing about last year about all the GameCube stuff were true. It just they didn't show it off in the last Direct. That's all. I think with how many people were reporting on it, how many people just say that Nintendo has a lot of GameCube content, I believe that there's something there, and I do think we're going to probably see some of that this year. And I'm here for it. I think a lot of GameCube stuff coming over to Switch would be great. Star Fox Assault would be awesome. I would love for something like that on Switch. And I don't know if these are remakes or just ports or what, but obviously the Prime remake would be awesome to have. I don't know if there's anything else that I necessarily really need. The Switch has given me a lot of games that I've wanted. I think what I said to you on the last pod, Cisco, is I would love to see them make Mario RPG in that engine, the 2D HD engine that Square Enix has been doing a lot of their games in. That would be cool.
Paper Mario would look really good in that too.
Paper Mario would look... I haven't thought of Paper Mario in that. I do think Nintendo has made Paper Mario look beautiful. It's just Color Splash on the Wii U wasn't that great of a game. And I didn't really not like Origami King that much, but it looked really, really, really nice.
Did you guys
Them
play
doing. I played Origami King for maybe 8 hours. It's just I just wasn't really feeling the battle system, and the game kind of had some heavy like pacing issues for me. I would feel like it was like really good for a moment, and then it was just back to like I feel like I'm just doing the easiest stuff, and then I have to read dialogue for 10 minutes, and I was just kind of like this isn't what I want to do.
That's fair.
If we're talking about new hardware, though, if that is a thing and new hardware does come out this year, and I mean, obviously, whether it's new hardware or not, I want to see new Mario. Odyssey was so long ago. That's what I'm saying. There could be a Mario game in the holiday season. I would love an Odyssey 2 or just a brand new game within the series. I'm not the biggest Galaxy fan, but I mean, even if they did Galaxy 3, that would be pretty hype. Just some real 3D Mario I would like. Another thing that just hit me now too, that Donkey Kong rumor of a 3D Donkey Kong game made by the Odyssey team, that has to be real. And with them adding Donkey Kong to the movie and him having a big role and them actually adding Donkey Kong stuff to the theme park, I feel like we're definitely going to see some Donkey Kong this year, and that is going to be a big game. I really don't think Zelda is going to be the last big game.
You know, we also don't have any game to open up the year right now.
Wouldn't Fire Emblem be that? I think there's a
forgot about
Kirby remake coming out too.
I forgot about Fire Emblem.
Forgot about Fire Emblem. Isn't that coming out in like a week?
You were just talking about wanting to see new Fire Emblem, then you forgot it's coming out.
This is coming from a big Fire Emblem fan.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so I'll probably do something with Jacob with this at some other time. But honestly, my hype for this game is like 2 out of 10. I don't care.
Is it just from what you've seen, or has there been too much Fire Emblem?
Yeah, is it that bad?
Like, what is it?
The whole aesthetic of the game, I don't like it. It's like this is like the direction they were heading in with the first 2 DS game, or for the first 2 3DS games for Awakening and Fates. Like Awakening was like, kind of anime, and then Fates was like, okay, this is kind of ridiculous. I feel like I'm watching like some bootleg generic slice of life harem romance anime, but it's Fire Emblem. And then they doubled back with a Fire Emblem 2 remake, which was absolutely beautiful. Everything about that game was beautiful. And then Three Houses was like, okay, you know what? This is a nice happy medium. I like what they did with Three Houses. And now it's like, well, maybe we are going to go full on anime. They're like, okay, all right, well, whatever, I guess. Like, none of the characters look that interesting. The story doesn't look that interesting. And like, Fire Emblem's never, I'm not going to say never. Fire Emblem rarely has a super duper engaging, like, bigger narrative plot. There are only a few games that have that. So a lot of its stock are in its characters. And none of these characters look interesting. They all look the exact same. So it's like, what am I interested in? Just regular Fire Emblem gameplay? I can play any Fire Emblem for that.
No, that all makes sense.
Yeah.
Even as an outsider who doesn't care at all, I thought the new one did also just kind of look like I remember Three Houses looked. I remember graphically thinking that I wish it looked better, but I get that it looks fun. Like, you remember, I was even thinking about getting it for a little while.
Yeah,
before it came out. But this one, I have zero interest in. Not that matters because I'm not a Fire Emblem fan, but I could see where you're coming from.
Yeah, this is really uninspired.
I had one last idea of what I want to see this year, and this is just purely a speculative idea from me. But I think with the way games have been recently, there is maybe a chance this could happen. Maybe not this year. So maybe this doesn't really work well for this segment. But I'm gonna say it anyway because it sounds hype. With the way that like Final Fantasy has remade Final Fantasy VII, and with the way like remakes work, you don't have to necessarily build the game from scratch because the story's already in line. A lot of the way things are set up are already in line. You just have to remake it basically. I think it would be amazing if maybe Nintendo hired a different crew to work on an Ocarina of Time remake, similar to what they did with Final Fantasy VII. So the Breath of the Wild team is the Zelda team working on Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. But if they hired another team, even if it was a smaller indie like company, but with a Nintendo budget, I think they could nail a Ocarina of Time remake. Maybe being something that sells the next console. Because, dude, an Ocarina of Time, like, I know we got the 3DS one, but that was a while ago. That was what, 2013?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even before that. I think it was.
Yeah, that was 2013, 2012.
So, yeah, it was a while ago now, but man, it's time. I think I do think Breath of the Wild brought in a lot of new fans who probably want to experience old Zelda, but don't want to. They don't want to downgrade. Not that Ocarina of Time is a downgrade, but when you play Breath of the Wild for the first time, take Sheriff for instance. If he goes back to play Ocarina of Time, he might enjoy it, but it's not going to feel the same way Breath of the Wild did. I think if they modernize Ocarina of Time, people who are new fans with Breath of the Wild will really get a lot of enjoyment from it. And I think there's a chance that they could hire a new company to do it. Same way that Pokemon had a different company do the Diamond and Pearl remake while the main company worked on Arceus and Scarlet and Violet.
Look at Dread.
It's just, oh yeah, Dread, exactly. And what they did first was make Metroid 2 remake. I think it'd be cool if they did that, because then look what Mercury Steam got to do. They got to work on Metroid 5.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool. That's what I'm hoping for. It definitely wouldn't happen this year, but it'd be cool if that happened. I have nothing else to say. I've been rambling. I'll let you guys take it from here if there's anything else you want to say.
No, I'm good.
Anchor shot.
That was
I was
going
to say something, but what can I follow that up with?
That was for what you did to Worm. Free Worm.
Free the worm.
Why is this following me in here? Why is this following me in here?
Because you made it happen in here. I don't know where this is following you from, but Worm just said Cisco, and you banned him, her, they, whoever they are.
They're the worm.
So because of that,
Look, there's history there. There's history there you guys don't know about.
okay. Well, should we wrap this up then? Final words from anybody.
I guess that's how we wrap it up.
That's how we're wrapping it up. Cisco, last words?
Hype for Battle.
Anchor shot.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right.
Peace out, guys.
Well,
We're ending